Hello and welcome to the Inbox Collector. Guys, the dust has settled, the plastic particles have fallen, PulseCon is now over, and today I just want to go over the Marvel side of things because what a couple of weeks it's been for Hasbro with the Engine of Greed and everything else that's been going on. So I'm going to take a look at everything, the good, the bad, and I should have said cringy because let's be honest, the actual start of that, the presenting from that show, the Pulse Con 2022, it was pure cringe. That guy was well over enthusiastic. I think he was called Theo Adams. I've made a note of it here, but that was terrible, absolutely terrible. Done my absolute Sweden. I thought, what are you doing? You're not presenting to a bunch of 5-year-olds. But there you go. That was that. And of course, they are pushing the selfie Hasbro figure. That's $80. Pushing that as much as they possibly could. Any chance they got, they plugged it. I don't know what they think, if they think all the fans are like, super loaded, but we're actually super strapped. So to pay out $80 for a resin head figure that you can't pop the head off, apparently, because if you do, it's likely to break. It's not actually a plastic head. So let's get some stuff added to this screen here. This I did not actually catch on the PulseCon. This was sent to me by Tuggernaut Collectibles, my good friend, who sadly is not going to be with me today. I am flying solo because he's gone away with his family, and I wanted to do this sort of live on Friday afterwards, like all the other respectable YouTubers, but I did not have time because work comes first, of course. So, yeah. This I didn't see, but it's a 1970s inspired Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think it's been shown by a few of the bigger channels, and it's been around on Instagram. It's based on the 1970s cartoon version, and it's an easy pass for me, but apparently it's a Walmart exclusive. So if you're looking to get that one, I don't know if this was actually even mentioned in PulseCon at all. I rewatched today and couldn't see anything with regards to this. But there you go. There's that one. Let's move on to, yes, the Orb. Now, everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people were speculating that this dude was going to turn up in as a tier for the Ghost Rider engine of Vengeance. But it turns out he's not. He's going to be a standalone figure coming out in 2023. They didn't say if he was pinless or not, and to be honest, even when I looked back, I couldn't see if he was pinless, but I am going to say he looks really cool, and he looks just like he does in the comic books. To be fair, they seem to have done a pretty good job with this. I mean, it's all right me saying that now just by photos and looking from the videos and stuff like that, but hopefully this will turn out pretty good. It's nice to have another character, another option given to us, so this is pretty cool. Not sure what it's going to cost yet because this one has not come up for pre-order or anything like that. Next, they showed us the Molecule Man, and they didn't necessarily show us this in this order. This is the order I've decided to put it in. Molecule Man, apparently he will be pinless. Made me laugh because Dwight knocked him over. He's got a habit of knocking things over as Dwight, such as the Sentinel when he was doing, Galactus when he was doing that, and he knocked this over and he knocked Strife over, which it just made me laugh. He just seems to be that kind of clumsy guy that just knocks things over and, unintentionally. Molecule Man's going to be very, very popular. Apparently he is pinless. It's one everyone's been waiting for. Obviously he's a big part of Secret Wars. Yeah, pretty cool. Looking forward to seeing this one. I'm wondering whether it's going to probably come in a box. It's not going to be windowless. I'd say it's probably going to be in a box, and I may have to break my rule and actually buy this, whether it's in a box or not, just because it's such a great character that I would like to get my hands on. So there he is. He comes with some sort of power FX. Looks pretty cool. Probably a reused one. If I was to spend more time looking, I'll find that's already been used by someone on some other action figure at some point. Next was Moonstone. Now, Moonstone has been done before, and again, we're getting her in white. We're getting her in the white, which is a shame. White and basically, I think it's like yellow. I mean, there's so many other options they could have gone with. Apparently, she is going to be pinless, but not. I think it's just the arms. I'm not sure if the legs were pinless. I can't remember. But we could have had either of those two options there that I've put a photo up of. Again, no price on this one. I don't know what she's going to cost because she ain't gone up for pre-order yet. Easy pass for me on this one. This one I'm not fussed about. I've got no intentions of picking this up. If it was on sale for £10, of course. But otherwise, it's not something that I'm all that bothered about. Next, Gamora. Now, this made me laugh because they said, oh, look at this giant axe she's carrying. Well, that's Thanos' axe. So all they've done there is chuck that in with Gamora. But apparently she is going to be pinless on both the arms and the legs. And apparently she'll be part of the 2023 What If series. Now, I really like that What If series. I don't know about you. Let me know in the comments if you did or not. But yeah, she's going to be pinless, part of the What If series. And I think pretty cool. But I've got my eye on another set, which is that big 5 set that Disney have of all of the Guardians of Galaxy, which is currently sitting at £95. But as you know, on this channel, we don't pay no £95. No, we'll wait for that to go in sale and we'll try and grab it at a better price because that is how I like to do it. I'm not one of these that just go out and buy every single thing and try and review everything on this channel. I'm like the rest of you collectors out there. I am trying to save where I can, and my collecting habits have very much changed. Next, we've got Storm in a blue and yellow. Really cool. Looks really good. Got those power effects again. Same that we got in a previous Storm. Pretty sure I've got it somewhere around here. Pretty cool though. A nice looking Storm. Depending on what packaging she comes in, it'll depend on whether I pick it up. I've got to be honest. But basically, yeah, another Storm. Well, it's one of those, isn't it? They keep bringing out the same sort of characters. I really like the What If series. Me too, buddy. Definitely a great series. Really cool how they sort of messed around with things, and that's what If's all about at the end of the day. Yeah. So, moving on from Storm, Banshee. Banshee in his blue and yellow, and apparently he will have an alternative head. I don't know if they mentioned whether Storm would have an alternative head. I'm just going to assume she doesn't. But apparently Banshee will have an alternative head, and also it is fabric. So I'm guessing it's going to be similar to the Storm's sort of fabric-y material to his costume. Pretty cool. I know some people would have preferred him in green, but yeah. What's that Bruce is saying? I only wanted Star-Lord, Zombie Cap and Captain Carter. Then I got the Hydra Stomper. I just finished the set. Yeah, it goes like that, Bruce. You end up just, yeah. I mean, I tend to now pick the most popular characters or the ones that you can sort of get a feel for it. You can sort of get a feel for what everyone's going for. And then basically I'll grab the main ones that I know are going to be really popular and sell out fast, and then I'll wait for the others to go on sale, and if they're on sale and I can pick them up, I'll pick them up, and if I can't, I can't. I mean, collecting's changing. We are literally being priced out, and I'll get on to a bit more of that later on. PZ, my friend, what do you mean you have not watched the show yet? You are a disgrace. You've got to get and watch that show. It's really good. Yeah, a brilliant TV show, mate. You really need to check it out. So moving on from Banshee, Strife. Now, I'm excited for Strife. This looks really cool. A really cool action figure. But rumour has it, by the way of that leak that came out, is that this is going to be part of a 5-pack. Now, we don't know if that's dead for sure, or whether he will be released singly. But apparently he was going to be part of a 5-pack. Released with Random and some other characters that I can't remember off the top of my head. But this is really cool because the only other one that's out at the moment goes for a lot of money on the second market. So hopefully this will give people a chance to pick it up. The VHS X-Men has been stopped. They're not doing that for the moment. They said they're having a break, which worries me. I've collected them all up till, I've pre-ordered the Cyclops, which we'll get to. But they're going to now do it in Spider-Man instead. Makes no sense to me, to be honest. I'll have a look at my notes here. But basically, Spider-Man 2-packs, that's probably looking at £60, 60 UK pounds, maybe $60 for the double pack rather than doing them individually. They've made it a Spider-Man versus Carnage. And basically, I'm not sure on these because if they don't do well, and I don't think those VHS ones have done all that well because a lot of them were just repaints. And if you've already got them, you've already got them. But so I'm not going to be touching these VHS ones, I don't think. Although if they bring out some really great characters, I don't know. This makes no sense to me because we've had, I'll just bring my screen up bigger. We've had this one already, which is the Black Spider-Man, and I'm guessing they're going to cell shade it, of course, and then by doing so, just repackage it. That's what's happening there, and of course they're throwing in a Carnage with it. So I'm not sure on that. I think I'll just leave this alone, to be honest. And then again, if it goes in sale, I will pick it up. I'll pound my head down in shame, but well, I'll recommend that one to your PC, but I definitely don't recommend She-Hulk at the moment. That is a real struggle. I'm at first episode, I was like, oh, only 25 minutes. And I moaned about it. It was only 25 minutes. Now I'm thankful that it's only 25 minutes. I am going to sit and watch it and see it through to the end. But oh my goodness, is that difficult to watch. When my 6-year-old son's turning around to me and saying, Dad, this is naff, you know it's a bad show because kids, they should be loving this sort of stuff. Next up, we've got Iron Heart. Interestingly, the prices for this one, in the UK, you're paying $37.99, so £38, but in the US, it's only $33.99. So we're paying a lot more over here in the UK for this one. It is in a windowless box, and I'm personally not interested in this whatsoever. I'm not going to be picking it up. I'm not interested in this at all. But it does look pretty cool. It remains to be seen if she's wearing this get up in the movie or not. But for me, it's an easy pass. I'm just going to pass on this one. What did get me excited was this, which is the animated Iron Man. And he comes with that giant cannon. And I was really excited about this because it's done in that retro style. I've completed the Toy Biz, all 4 series of the Toy Biz ones. And I was really excited to see this. And it comes with a Tony Stark with his mullet. So that is absolutely awesome. Until I saw the price. So we'll get to that in a second. But he's got this cool effect that you can put on his chest. And he's got this cool effect that comes out of the gun. I'll show you. But he's also a repaint, which I found. Basically, he's been redone. It's just a repainted figure, so a re-release. They've then added the head mode. And the cannon is like a separate thing. And that cannon has really pushed the price up. So here's everything you get in here. And basically, if you're in the UK, this is £57.99. Not a chance. That is like, ouch. That is really expensive. If you're in the US, however, he's only $44.99. Now, I know the pound is running down at the moment, but that ain't adding up. Because if, the pound is what, £1 will get you $1.10 at the moment. This does not add up at all, Hasbro. You are charging the UK an awful lot of money. And this is way too high. I mean, this is where they're pricing us out of being able to. I'd love to be able to buy that. It's got that retro colours, those retro looks, just like the Iron Man from the Toy Biz days. But come on, that is crazy money. $57.99. I would prefer if they did these cannons and extra bits separately. I'm not sure about you guys, rather than chucking them in with a figure and charging so much. But yeah, wow, that is a lot of money. I need to get the rest of the X-Men Continuity DVD, One Legend. Got my first DVD set and been meaning to get the rest. The case, yeah. Mate, I tell you what, they're all on Disney Plus. Disney Plus is the thing to get now. And then you'll get all of your Marvel shows and everything. And all your backlog of animated TV and stuff. That's where you need to go. Moving on from a very expensive Iron Man then that I sadly cannot afford. It's so much that I can't afford. It's the principle of the matter. I'm not paying that kind of money for a repainted figure that's had a head mode thrown in, of Tony Stark with his mullet and some power effects. There's just no way. In fact, that power effect, looking at it coming out that gun there, is the same one. From the proton cannon, I believe it's called. It's the same one that we got out of the Apocalypse that's just recently been released. Let's have a look. I wish the proton cannon was called a proton cannon. Also, I wish they sold it, separately. Already have the red and gold modular Iron Man. Absolutely. So this is what I mean. If you've already got that red and gold Iron Man, this one's just a repaint. That cannon, I don't see why it's basically just a way of bundling it in, and the price just goes right up. It's not for me. It's just too expensive. If they want to do cannons and Christ knows what, they could do what they want, but it would be better if they did them separately, and so we have a choice on whether to buy it, because I think that is what's pushing up this repainted figure. It just isn't. It hasn't got the value there for me. Next, the Daredevil 3-pack. Now this is pretty cool, actually. I think this is from what I can see from the figures inside, we get a of course Bullseye, we get Elektra, and we get Daredevil, and they all come with various accessories, including Bullseye gets an extra head, so does Elektra. It's in white. She's in white. We have had her in red before, so I think that's kind of cool. Bit worried about the price. I thought it was going to be £100. It's £80 in the UK and $75 if you're in the US. Again, an easy pass for me, because I'm not worried about getting these windowless boxed. Because what would I do with it? Just sit it on the shelf with a digital art on it, and it's not something I'm worried about. But if you're a Daredevil fan, I can see why they're doing it, because we're obviously going to get the TV series soon. But for me, it's an easy pass. But it does look cool. The characters look fantastic. I mean, there is Bullseye with both head scopes on. Pretty cool. Really good character. And there is Elektra and Daredevil. I mean, they look nice. I mean, if they go on sale, yeah, sure, I might pick them up. But I'm not overly bothered, because since I keep mine in box, then I'm just going to, not bother with that. That's just going to stay on the shelf, essentially. Next is Cyclops, and this is the final one for the VHS wave, the final pack. Does look pretty awesome. What size do you think it is? Well, I think they'll all be just 6-inch, Chris, and I think they'll basically be, the box will probably be about yay big, with them all stuffed inside these little cardboard cartons that they do. It's cool if you're opening your action figures and you don't care about the boxes, but being an in-box collector, it's not really my thing. Cyclops looks really cool. And they have said this is going to be the end of the X-Men VHS wave, and I think that's because they're not going to bother with it anymore. I don't think they'll ever come back to this set of series of figures, so expect them to go on sale soon, I'd imagine. Once Mystique's out, once this one's out, keep an eye on them, and within the next few months, these will all start to hit the sale, and they won't be doing them again. I think they're going for all their retro style cards now, like the Toy Biz cards, because they sell fast. I'll get to that in a minute. He looks really cool, this Cyclops, I have to say. They said that he is, let me check my notes, he is pinless. And they basically said, oh, it's like sort of belt and utility belt and everything else is all sort of keyed in and moded in, like it's a good thing. Well, look, guys, I mean, I didn't want to give them any kind of credit for that, because the very old original Toy Biz was exactly done like that. So I'm not giving out any medals to Hasbro for saying that it's like, you know, oh, it's not. I'm guessing previous versions we've had it's because they've always had sort of rubber sort of bits put on which easily break and whatnot. But yeah, so there is Cyclops. No special effects. That's one thing I noticed for this. This one's costing £28 in the UK. I'm not sure what he's costing in the US, but there's no side effects with this figure. You basically just get this and a set of spare hands, and it shows you him blasting his optic blast there, but no, nothing. So you'll have to go to somewhere like side effects. This is side effects where you can attach them if you want that kind of thing. I just think Hasbro's just being a bit stingy there. I mean, he's £2 cheaper than Morph and £2 cheaper than Mystique. So they've dropped the price by £2. No alternative head, nothing. It's just a set of spare hands in with that one. And now we get into what I would consider the best part of the whole weekend, the whole of PulseCon, the meat and potatoes. And as you can see, I eat a lot of meat and potatoes. Here we have Avalanche. Avalanche is absolutely awesome. He's on that retro card. They're doing that retro Toy Biz card, pulling us into our nostalgia. But basically, these here are coming in at, what's it, $25.99 in the UK and $24.99 US dollars, which is quite expensive because if I remember rightly, when I was picking these up, which I've put on the shelf just for today, they were like £15 each. So we're talking an extra £10 being smacked on top. In fact, an extra £11 being smacked on top of these. But basically, a lot of these have sold out pretty fast, which was quite surprising. He looks really cool, though. I'm glad they've done him. Just to be transparent, I managed to pre-order quite a few of these last night. So I did pre-order pretty much everything I'm about to show you. That came in a Toy Biz style packaging. So I've got Avalanche. I've got him put in, did him. They've also said we're getting Multiple Man. I only got one of each, by the way. I'm the inbox collector, not the inbox reseller, just for clarification. I only collect, and that is it. And I just prefer to keep them in box. Multiple Man, this is really cool. Now, we've had Multiple Man before. And I believe he came with 3 heads. This particular one only comes with 2 heads, but it's pretty cool. The only thing I would say, if I go back actually, if I had a criticism of Avalanche, and that is that he didn't get a second head. The facial expressions just I can't do a grumpy face. I'm sure my wife would disagree, but basically it's just a grumpy face. And on the artwork, he's sort of like with his teeth, and I would have liked to have seen 2 heads, but we didn't. We got 1. Multiple Man, we only got 2 heads, which is really good, and I really like the colors. I really like the look of him. This is really cool. Phoenix. When I saw this, I was like, oh yes, now we're talking. I purchased this one, and I've also purchased a second one, not to resell. My 6-year-old boy Alfie is this is his favorite character. So if I can't buy myself a Phoenix without buying him one as well. But I do think people are being priced out. I mean, these were £15 not that long ago, and now they're £26 a pop, which is crazy. She also does not come with a spare head, and she was released in 2018, I believe, as a Toys R Us exclusive. I think it was 2018. She comes with that cool Phoenix power effect, but we've seen it before in this double pack. I don't know how well that's come out on the screen there, but there was a double packlet, and you basically got Jean with 2 separate heads and a Cyclops. They reckon they've reworked the sash on this one, which it looks like they have because it's on the other side. Apparently she is pinless, and she is a complete repaint. But I just feel they should have chucked an extra head in there. If they charge so much money for these things, it would have been nice to have had a second head to go with it. Again, it doesn't really matter to me so much because I keep mine in box. But for the guys that like to take them out and make the photos and dioramas and all the rest of it, my son Alfie would have definitely have liked a second head. He loves to pop the heads on and off constantly, and then come to me and say, "Dad, I can't put it on." So I've got to basically do that. Now, this one was great. This is Wolverine. And it reminds me straight away, as soon as I saw it, it was like Toy Biz Wolverine 3rd edition. And I've got that somewhere here. I'm not going to go looking through as to where it is. But as soon as I saw this, I was like, wow. And this one does come with a second head. There's both the facial expressions. That is really cool in his blue and yellow. They're going, I mean, that's where they've got you. They want there's a lot of the X-Men in their actual blue and yellow costumes. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to pick them up. I'm going to have to get these figures. And surprisingly, some did sell out really fast. In America, they sold out even faster. I can't remember all of the characters, but I know that the Phoenix is sold out in both the UK and in the States. And if you, of course, pay your £40, premium thing for Hasbro, I do not, then you would have been able to get in and make a pre-order an hour earlier than everyone else. I just waited the hour and then pre-ordered then. There's no way I'm giving them an extra £40 for what? For an extra hour? You know, that's just crazy. I don't see the point in that £40 thing, but I know some people pay it. Next was Spyro. Now, this for me is the highlight of the whole show. This looks absolutely amazing. She looks absolutely fantastic. Look at that. Now, I've done a review on this before, the original Toy Biz one. But basically, she looks absolutely. Let me get her back up on screen. Who's saying they're sad? Let's have a look. Jay, I'm sad. I'm broke now. Laugh loud. I would have definitely have gotten Dark Phoenix and Spyro and maybe the Daredevil 3-pack. The Daredevil 3-pack's still there, and I know what you're saying because these are expensive. This is like a considered purchase. A lot of these action figures now. I genuinely don't know what Hasbro think we've got money wise. It's crazy. But basically, you could still get Daredevil 3-pack, and that may even go on sale, Jay. Who knows? I mean, it just depends. It may not fly off the shelves because it's in that windowless box. And when they put up these on sale, for example, Apocalypse, the recent Apocalypse we had done in this awesome packaging, that went up as sold out straight away. And then I've just recently looked, and now it's back up for sale again. I think this sold out thing could, just being cynical, it could be a Hasbro thing where they like to just, I'm not sure. But basically, they haven't even really made all these yet, surely, because these aren't due to come out until April 23. So I always find it odd when they say sold out. But I'm pretty sure it'll come up again, Jay, so you'll get another opportunity. What's Douglas saying? Where in the US, the pre-order for the premium did not go live until 5:50. So what's that what you're saying, Bruce? Is that like 10 minutes before everyone else? Because if that's the case, that is absolutely ridiculous. Why would anyone be paying that extra £40 just for 10 minutes to get in there? Spyro is awesome. Everyone was saying that she should have been in that Mojo pack instead of Dazzler, and absolutely she should have. But I'm so glad they did her like this because I'm not interested in that Mojo 3-pack. But I've definitely ordered Spyro. I ordered 2 of her as well. So the only 2 that I got 2 of, one for my son again. He will absolutely love that. I'll probably keep that back for his birthday or something. If it does, let's see what you're saying there, mate. I've got to put it up on screen so I can read it. If it does, I hope so. Electra looks so nice. Yes, definitely. Pinless looks great. Yeah, they're definitely going to grab it once it's for sale for sure. Yeah, I think it could potentially go on sale. The only thing is, it's out now, early days, and I don't know when that Netflix Daredevil show comes, and then it may go wild. But at least you've got, even if it doesn't go on sale, at least you've got time to get it. At least you've got time to go pick it up, Jay, and basically get it. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with this. They've done this on a single card, and it's on the purple card. Everything about this is absolutely amazing. Look at that. Look how cool she is. She is absolutely amazing. Really, really is cool. All those weapons. This is for me, the highlight of the whole thing. This is definitely the best figure. Pretty sure we had her as a legend before, though, in one of the Build-A-Figure waves. but I can't remember what wave it was. Obviously, I've got the Toy Biz one, which is an absolute classic. But yeah, so there was Spyro. She looks amazing, pinless, and just awesomeness, and same price as all the others. So pretty happy with that. We've also got a single long shot, which we've of course got a single mojo. I'll get to that in a minute. But apparently, when I was watching it back today, he is better painted. The irony in this, if you've been keeping up to date with everything, and if you've seen my other videos, is the single mojo is definitely anything but better painted. But apparently this mojo with this long shot, comes with his man baglet. You can see it there in the case. He is better painted. Mojo's come out separately as well. I'll just go back to long shot. So apparently he's got the eye. I don't know if it's an actual bit that's attached or painted on. I couldn't see, but he's got that. And he's come out singly. So anyone that I saw people when this mojo was announced. When this mojo, I got a video out really early of this. It just didn't pick up a lot of views. But when this came out, the amount of people I saw on Instagram going, well, I'm ditching my free pack to get this, because it was like $42 the guy bought it for. Now on the website, Hasbro's website, is $55.99 in the UK. And I think it's the same in dollars in the US, but I do believe it's either Target or Walmart. One of them was doing it for $42, and it's just a lot cheaper. But it's the paint application on this is pretty rubbish. There's like hardly anything to it. I would go as hazard to say it's worse than the very original Toy Biz one. Just not good at all. Whereas, in fact, both, even the one in the free pack that they're charging £120 for, that's not as good as the original Toy Biz Build-A-Figure one. That, if you've seen a comparison of them both together, that one's better. But yeah, so Mojo's come out, Spyro's come out, and Longshot's come out, all in a single pack. And I do believe when I priced it down in my video, if you haven't seen it, I basically, when this dropped, I did a complete pricing down because they were selling Mojo at 42, and all that box, if you said $30 for both Longshot and Dazzler, and then if you said $10 for the mini Wolverine that no one wanted, and then if you said the $42 that this was being sold for in store, that left you with $30. That's what you were paying for that box that's done like a TV. That's how much it kind of, Target, thanks Jay, Target is, Jay's just confirmed it, is 42, and Amazon online is 56. Yeah, thanks dude. So 42. So yeah, I'm right, $30 it basically, when I did the calculations, $30 for some box. Hasbro were charging $30 for box. That's all they were doing. And you can now go and get both Mojo, Spyro, and Longshot if you want Longshot. Longshot's a bit of hit and miss. He hasn't sold out yet, Longshot. Spyro has. Spyro's sold out as of at the moment. That doesn't mean she's sold out for good. She'll probably come back up at some point. And don't forget, guys, you've always got third-party retailers. Whatever you do, and it's up to you what you do. It's your money. But I don't believe in paying stupid prices on the aftermarket for action figures. You don't want to feed that kind of greed. It's just not a sensible thing to do. You're better off just being patient and waiting, and maybe go out toy hunting sometimes in some sort of your local comic shops and things like that, because you'll never know. They sometimes sitting on a shelf then. I've seen it happen lots of times. Certainly won't pay loads. There he is, the Mojo. You can sort of see better from this picture. That paintwork is just nowhere near as good, but it saves you a lot of money if you buy this one and buy Longshot and Spyro. Nobody needed another Dazzler, did they? No one needed another Dazzler with a different head. We had Dazzler on the retro card. I've got it sat behind me here. And all they did was give her a head scope, and I think they took the jacket off. They even took a jacket away. Jay's definitely going to pick Mojo up at Target if he sees him. Yeah, I would. I just think it's just a massive saving. Let me know in the comments, guys, are you starting to get priced out, any of you? Are you starting to Because over here in the UK, and I'll keep saying it, the energy bill is crazy. The government has just done a new budget, which has absolutely rode the pound down to nothing. And basically, they come out with these figures at an extra £11 than what they were 2 years ago per figure. It getting to the point where it's just like, this is a very expensive hobby now, and it's a shame. And it's an expensive hobby only for the few. And I had a recent thing where I spoke out about how expensive it was, and I had some Muppet said to me, "Well, you could always stop collecting if you can't afford it." And they're those sort of comments. I do love them. I love trolls, to be honest with you. I just think it's great. And basically, this guy, turns out he only had no followers, no nothing. He was just either a Hasbro agent or just one of these little fanboys. And basically, they're the problem, because rather than challenging what's going on, which is this overpriced, they're being overpriced, they're being overcharged for everything. Rather than challenge that, they just sort of attack other fans or other collectors that speak out and say, look, this isn't right. And that's the kind of thing you have to kind of put up with. But I've always got answers for that. So there's Mojo. We also got to see this Ghost Rider, very controversial character at the moment, really, let's be honest. But the Ghost Rider he's the 3.75 inch. The small ones, not going to go, I don't know what it's going to cost. It's not, I don't pick up any of those 3.75 inch. They're just basically the arms move up and down, legs. I did pick up a double pack once, and Wolverine looked like he was taking a shit. So basically, I've not gone back to them. They were very nice packaged and everything, but the figure quality just wasn't there for me. So I have not touched any 3.75 inch, but because it was on PostCon, I thought I would just show it on here. Now let's get to the Ghost Rider Engine of Vengeance. Now I've done loads of videos on this, and I guess I've done quite well because I've had a lot of subscribers and things. I've picked up new, so it's just really good for my little channel. Currently, and at the moment, it's sitting at 5,471 backers. So PostCon made no difference, but they did hint, if you look at that gem there, they did hint at the next tier after this. Now, bearing in mind, it has to reach 9,000 to get backed, 12,000 to unlock Mephisto, and for the next character that they're sort of teasing, which I'll get to in a minute, it's probably going to hit 14,000. At the moment, it's nowhere near it. Nowhere near. Let's have a look. So they're showing off the characters. I'm not excited by this whatsoever. This has been a massively, really badly run sort of campaign. They overpriced it. They charged too much. There's so much wrong with this, and I'm not going to go harking on about it too much now because I've already done so in other videos, and you can go back and check those videos out as to what I think is wrong with it. Bearing in mind, if you do want to back it, I'm not going to, say, oh, that's wrong or anything like that. I hope personally it doesn't get backed, because I think it would be good for the customer, because I think this was a massive overcharge, and Hasbro need a loss now. They need to know that you can't really get away with doing that. But yeah, they bought this up, and there they both are, Mephisto and Robbie Reyes is Ghost Rider. Of course, they're throwing the head in now as well. They did make me laugh when they said, oh, it's off to a cracking start, etc. But yes, here we go. That there, if you look on the neck, is the Goblin Queen. So at 14,000, they did say of a demonic persuasion. They never said it was all going to be centered around Ghost Rider. Now, to me, this isn't their image. It's just one I found to show you the Goblin Queen. To me, this is trying to still get the hardcore backers to get in on this, because they're trying to chuck in a very popular and very sought after character. Do I think it's going to work? I don't know. I don't think so. The numbers haven't moved, and it's got to get to 14,000 possibly to get this. But it's still early days. It's still early days. If I go to this slide here, it's still early days. I think for what, 29 days left? That might have been taken from this morning. I can't remember. Yeah, 29 days and 8 hours. That's basically out of the time now. Out of the time from when I took it, but it hasn't gone up at all. It's sitting at 5,471 backers. It's hardly budged, even though they're kind of hinting towards we're going to get Goblin Queen. Like I say, I'm not backing it. I'm not interested. It's not something I'm interested in personally. So that was everything from PostCon. Everything from PostCon. So I think they came out pretty strong with the X-Men wave. I think that was a really good, and I think it was a really good wave. Expensive. I've got some friends that are like, yeah, I'm only going to pick up one or two. I have gone all in. I'm going to do a load of overtime just to pay for that. And when I say I've gone all in, I've just gone in for those X-Men Toy Biz retro style cards. Chris, hello, my friend. How are you? Let's pop you up there. Are they stopping the VHS animated series at Cyclops? Yes, mate, they are, and that worries me because I think that'll be the end of it. You've only got I mean, I'm not in an inside. I don't have any inside knowledge or anything, but if you was to go on their website now, all of the VHSs are still available to buy. There's none, as far as I'm aware, that have sold out. Whereas when you chuck in these X-Men waves that they just did, and I don't know how many numbers they had ready to go, what have you, but they pretty much sold out of several in America, and then over here in the UK they sold out of some as well. It's a lot more popular when they start sticking it behind plastic, essentially. So you put it behind plastic, you stick it in the plastic, and how it should be done, how it's been done since forever, and all of a sudden you get massive sales. So yeah, what they've said is, Chris, they've said they've not said they've stopped it. They said they've taken a break from it. They said they're taking a break from it, and they basically going to continue it after they finish the Spider-Man run. I'm not convinced, Chris. I think it could be the end of it. And basically we're going to get what we've got. And then if we do see Gambit, or we've obviously Beast and all the rest of them, they're probably not going to come out socially. They're just going to come out on this kind of card here. And that's what we're going to get. And I think that's because it's more popular. And I don't think they're being completely honest with us. The VHS Spider-Man ones, I'd be dubious about buying them now, because if they don't sell well, and already they've announced that, like I say, I'll say it again, it's going to be the Black Spider-Man, and of course they're going to put some cell shading lines on him, and then they're going to charge you £60 for a double pack. I'm not interested in that. What's Jay saying here? And they said they'll come back to it in future. Yeah, stopping it now for the spoil. I don't know if they'll come back to it. We'll have to wait and see. It could be for how, what if everyone forgets? We'll have to kind of just keep messaging them when you're starting it up again. But I'm a little bit cynical of whether they will start it again. I'm just not sure. It just seems very odd just to stop it when, like Chris is saying, there's so many more characters to go. There's just randomly stopped it. And then all of a sudden you've got, I think if you're Hasbro and they've still got lots up for, not on sale, but to sell. And I think we'll see after Cyclops, I said it earlier, I think we'll see them all go on sale. And then I think they'll quietly forget about them. Then we'll start getting the Spider-Man ones, see how they go. And then I don't think they'll go back to either if Spider-Man doesn't do all that well. We'll have to wait and see. But I do think they're definitely, I mean, I was worried as a collector. That was, once it all went to Windowless, that was me done. That was me out. Because, look, I'm an inbox collector, the name, everything. I just collect inbox. Of course, I'd still pick some up for my son, who's massive into Legends. I mean, I've sat there counting them today, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you've got a lot. But I would have got him some, because he doesn't care about the boxes, because he's playing with them. And I guess the people that collect and just like to display and do photos, they don't care about them. But for me, for people that collect the inbox, this was possibly the end of the road for collecting. I would have it wouldn't have been completely end, because I would have carried on getting the Toy Biz ones. I still do. Ones that I've still got to pick up, and I would have carried on collecting that way. But I thought, it was all but over. But I think this retro wave of these kind of figures here, I think they are massive sellers and they're really popular. And Hasbro are all about, come on, they're all about money. They're all about the money. It just depends, because their pricing, I do think their own greed could be their downfall eventually. I mean, they just keep putting prices up. And nobody can afford it. When all your bills are going up, your mortgage, your interest rates are going up, everyone's facing the same things. And I think, I'm not sure about other countries, but from what I gather, it's expensive everywhere. Everything's like kind of financially up in the global economy is just messed up as it is, and then they're charging a huge amounts of money. That I can't get over those. They were pushing those selfie action figures at $80 a pop. They were pushing those, and I was like, this is like a joke. I mean, it's no one wants an $80 figure. Apparently, you can't pop the heads off and pop them on other figures either, because the actual head side of it that's done through the photo scan, it fits like a resin. And we had that guy there. Oh my god, his reaction! I've been made into a Star Wars figure. It's like, mate, don't ever give up your career as a presenter and try to become an actor, because we can all see it's just over the top, cringy. And like I said at the beginning of this video, we're not 5-year-olds, we're adults. And basically, we don't need to see all that. We just want to see what you're bringing out, and we don't need all that over the top rubbish. Yeah, I'll get collected in box as well, specifically Cyberman and a release. Yeah, one could have had. Yeah, I mean, they're doing the Spider-Man VHS. I'm not going to touch them, but basically, I am going to have you tried the selfie. Mine looks atrocious. It scared my daughter. No, I haven't, and I'm not going to. It's too expensive, man. It's too expensive. And funny you should say that as well. I noticed they were able to zoom in on the figures when they were doing examples of figures. I don't know if anyone else spotted this. So they were able to zoom in and show you the figure, spin it around, and everything like that. But when it comes to them showing you these selfie figures, he's saying, hey, they've really got my likeness. And it wouldn't zoom in. They never zoomed in to see it. So we couldn't tell if it had his likeness or not. And I'm pretty sure it probably didn't. They're just too expensive. Tobias, Tom Bass, hello, my friend. Yeah, it was just that beginning of throughout their show, it was kind of annoying, that guy. He just really annoyed me in between. Just over the top rubbish. And I think everyone sort of felt that. There's no way on earth I would pay $80. I don't know what it would be in the UK. Looking at going through the prices, if you were here at the beginning, we're paying more for our action figures than in the States anyway. So I don't know what it would be over here, but it doesn't. And I'm not entertained by that at all. I'm not even going to bother. Just no way. It seems to try to squeeze this for every penny, and I think they've invested a lot into this, or they're really they seem really desperate. They seem really desperate because they were plugging that selfie figure every chance they could get. They were just like, oh, have you seen the new selfie? And then the next person would come on like, oh, I've got my selfie. Chris, cruel joke, mate. I'm sure you're a fine looking chap. It's Hasbro. They just they can't get anything right, and I am skeptical of this sort of technology and stuff. I'm not sure. I think we're all being priced out slowly but surely, and I know Mezco and I know other toy brands charge a lot of money for their action figures, but let's be honest, most of us don't buy all those expensive brands. Some of us get one or two now and again, maybe. I personally don't bother, but I think Hasbro are slowly and surely increasing all the time, and that's why I don't want HasLab Ghost Rider to get through. I want them to be told. I want kind of the customer to say, look, enough's enough. And I think that sort of shows in a little way, because if you remember, he went on and said, speaking transparently, we're not getting Robbie Reyes now, that's it. And then all of a sudden the white flag's going up, and it's like, oh, we're going to be chucking in the head. And it's because they're realizing that they've, you only have to look through comments on anything they kind of do, and people are genuinely fed up. And I understand that from my point of view as well, as a collector. It's just going up in prices. Yeah, we'll just have to see what happens with prices going forward, because they're creeping up. £15 a pop 2 years ago, 27 now. People are kind of, they must, that's crazy. It's nearly double. The VHS ones, £28 now, £30 in the UK, and I think it's the same in the US. And if you notice, guys, we're always getting less accessories. I do I do notice that they've chucked in a few heads with these X-Men ones, and they've chucked in some of them, like Avalanche hasn't got one, and Multiple Man's got two, Wolverine's got two, Jean's got none, Phoenix has got none. It just, they're just to take away here and there. The Cyclops VHS, no power effect or anything like we see on that one, where he's got two heads and a power, so you have to buy that separate from a second party. It's just, if you look at it, you're slowly getting less. You either get less and charge the same price, or you're getting charged more, and then in order to get those extra bits. That's basically what's going down. And I think eventually it'll be Hasbro's downfall, or they're just gonna have to keep putting up a lot more sales, and that's how I think if you want to carry on buying in this, buying in this current climate, that's how you have to do it. You have to do things in sales. The HasLab should have been 180 to 200 with tax and shipping. I agree. I mean, I don't know if you guys all saw that I think it was free. I can't remember what it was now, but there was a podcast where these guys literally had an expert on who was able to break it all down and said that basically it's expensive for the tooling kits. And he counted up all the parts, and then the Sentinel sort of arm was more parts than and pieces they needed for the kits than the car. So he said that's where the cost is. It's not so much, of course, plastic matters, but this thing never weighs anything near the size of a Sentinel, and they're just charging an awful lot of money for something that I think no one's really bothering with. It hasn't budged. I mean, they didn't really go on about it too much in the postcon either, did they? They just sort of said it's off to a cracking start, and then they just left it at that. And then it still may get through, but I don't know whether it'll get through all of the, or to reach all of the tiers. I just don't know. Do you ever grab any DC figures, especially since McFarlane's still making them more affordable? And I don't grab a lot of McFarlane. I do have a few, but I mean, my main collection is Marvel. I'm a massive Marvel fan. But I do still collect on the aftermarket for Toy Biz ones, certain ones that I've missed, certain ones that I need. I mean, they're actually running cheaper now than what it's weird. It's sort of tipped the other way. Hasbro Legends are now costing more than retro action figures, which is crazy, but it's just the way it is. I mean, some of the retro action figures are, of course, still a lot more, but on average, because most retro Toy Biz figures here in the UK, you're probably looking at, on average, maybe around £20 for most of them, except for certain characters. And a Hasbro Legend's going to cost you, thanks, Jay. It's going to cost you more. Yes, the free AO podcast. And it was brilliant. It was great because we got to see Vala, ex-Hasbro employee. Thank you, Jay. It's been a long week. Yes. If you haven't seen that, I did put a link in one of my videos to that. And it is fantastic because he breaks it all down as to why it's so overpriced, that Hasbro Engine of Vengeance. Dorkside sells only baths and splits multiple packs. I just pre-ordered the What If Ultron because that wave was crap. Yeah, that's another way to do it, guys. Look. Is that Dark Side or Dork Side? I can't see. Apparently they'll split it down. Dork Side. Okay, so if you guys need things, just certain figures, they'll actually split multi packs. There you go. That's a cool tip from Bruce. See, it's all about helping one another out. I personally think the collecting's changed, and we have to basically buy. You can't buy them all. You just can't. You can't buy everything unless you're absolutely loaded. But many of us aren't. Many of us are working class. We've just got to do what we can and get what we can when we can. And if you pick the most popular characters, you can go in and get the others in sale. I mean, the Black Panther Legacy ones with Shuri, Nakia, and Baku. I picked all three of them up just 2 months after they'd been out, £15 a pop. and that's just 2 months later. So you can do it. It's just not always. I mean, if it's something you really want, I have to say this: go get it if you can afford to. Just get it, because if it's more than likely a really popular character, then it's going to sell out. Right, guys, that's all I've got time for. Thank you all for joining me, jumping in. I know some of you jumped in late, but I really appreciate it. I think overall it was a good post-con. I think the X-Men wave was definitely the strongest wave of all. I think the Iron Man action figure is just well overpriced. We'll have to wait for that to come down. Chris is just quickly saying, yeah, you're right. I see that they're cleaning up what I'm trying to collect and pick up, and that's the way to do it, Chris. It's just I never rush out anymore and just pick everything up. I just don't pick everything up straight away. I used to just go and get everything, and now you can't do that. It's just crazy amount of money. I mean, the average legend when they were running at 20, it was still like you get what, 6 or 8 depending on the amount that was in the series. But now at 28, 30, it's just not possible. So yeah, guys, I think it was a good overall for the X-Men. I think, I'm not sure on the Spider-Man double pack. I'm definitely probably not going to pick that up because I've already got the black costumed Spider-Man behind me. I'm not interested in the Iron Man at the price, not for a repaint, even though it's got that cannon. I think definitely buy the Mojo separately. Mojo, if you can, and the long shot. I think it's on Hasbro. The Mojo's on Hasbro Pulse UK now as well. There's no way you want to pay. There's no way you want to pay that 120 quid when you can get, if you just wanted Mojo. I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy that it got leaked out. Really, I think they were planning on revealing it on post-con, but someone just spotted it in the shops and they'd not said anything. And it's kind of that's the kind of business practice with Hasbro that's just so wrong as well, because when they were presenting that pack of Mojo Longshot Dazzler, which no one wanted a Dazzler in there, didn't make any sense, and that mini Wolverine that's not really a full figure, when you've got business practices like that and you're going along doing things like that, and then you'll release it later on as down the line as singular, that annoys people, because I'm sure people would have pre-ordered that hoping to just get Mojo. But I do know a lot of people were sort of saying online, especially in toy groups and things that I'm in, I've cancelled it, I've cancelled it, I've cancelled it. So it just doesn't make sense to me what Hasbro did there. But then a lot of what they do doesn't make sense to me on pricing and what they're doing at the moment anyway. Right, guys, I've got to go. I've got work really early in the morning. Again, thank you for joining me. I don't know what I'll have out during the week, but I'm sure it'll be something. I've been pretty crazy on this channel lately, trying all kinds of things, experimental, shall we say, just to see how things go. But guys, I feel your pain if you struggle to collect these action figures now, because they are definitely they're starting to become a premium thing to collect. I do think Hasbro will have to sort of hold it where it is now. They can't start putting up higher. I say that, and then I see the Iron Man at £57. I mean, that is expensive. £57.99. It's only £44.99 in the US. I don't understand why they've put it so expensive over here in the UK, but there you go. So I won't be adding that, even though I love the retro line. I've got all the Toy Biz ones, so it's neither, for me, it's no loss, I suppose. Guys, thank you all for joining me. Until next time, good luck searching for that toy gold.